जय हिंद, जय संविधान।
हिंदुस्तान की नींव पर आक्रमण हो रहा है। बीजेपी और आरएसएस आक्रमण कर रही है।
The BJP has spread kerosene all over the country. You need one spark and we'll be in big trouble.
जो मूवमेंट अडवाणी जी ने चालू की थी, जिसका सेंटर अयोध्या था, उस मूवमेंट को इंडिया गठबंधन ने अयोध्या में हरा दिया है।
Ladies and gentlemen, Bharat has always been hailed as the biggest democracy in the world. But today, Bharat has also been globally recognized yet again as one of the greatest democracies. After all, Prime Minister Modi bowed to the Constitution as he began his third term, while the leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi took the oath saying Jai Samvidhan. But look at the irony of it all. Those who called themselves the saviors of democracy, instead of celebrating, are rejecting it. Let's first tell you about the spark which set off a political storm. The reputed Pew Research Center, a non-partisan, non-advocacy fact-check tank based in the United States, has released its report which says that 77% of Indians feel that democracy is thriving in our nation. However, 20% say that they are not satisfied with it. But look at the graph of the other nations. Singapore, above India, is the only country. Now look at the data for the Western world. Those who preach to us about the state of democracy in India and the opposition within our country that picks up a page from that narrative. Only 31% in the United States feel that true democracy exists in their nation. This number stands at 39% in the UK, 35% in France, and only 31% in Japan. So amongst these global leaders, India ranks second highest in its democracy index. That too as per the Janta themselves, because it is people in India who have actually been the respondents responding to this survey. But this report hasn't gone down too well with the India bloc. While they speak of saving Samvidhan, the narrative may be crumbling. Sample this. The leader of opposition party, Rahul Gandhi, was seen egging on MPs to disrupt the parliament. One sitting Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal is cooling his heels in jail for a case against him on money laundering, while another opposition Chief Minister, Hemant Soren, has been sworn in after getting bail from the courts, and he is the Chief Minister again. The courts have also wrapped the Trinamool Congress rule, Bengal, for post-poll violence. Is this not democracy? And let's not forget, the leader of opposition, Rahul Gandhi, is out on bail himself in money laundering cases, in the National Herald case. Today, the BJP says the Congress should accept that they're not the saviors, but the destroyers of democracy. Watch this war of words.
देश का हर व्यक्ति जानता है कि ये जो हाथ में कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की किताब लेके जो है चलते हैं, वो अपने आप को ही एक्सपोज करते हैं, इसलिए कि हर को मालूम है झूठ तो ज्यादा दिन चलता नहीं है। इसलिए मुझे लगता है कि ये सब धीरे धीरे अपने आप ही एक्सपोज हो जाएंगे और देश की जनता इनको करारा जवाब देगी।
एक तो इस तरह की रिपोर्ट जो आती है तो अक्सर देखने में आया है कि अगर कोई अगेंस्ट में रिपोर्ट आती है तो उसकी चर्चा सत्ता में बैठे लोग नहीं करते, उससे कोई उनका अर्थ लेना देना नहीं है। अगर कहीं पॉजिटिव दिखी तो उसका गाना गाते हैं।
They had another global survey and on religion and religious tolerance, and India did not come out very shining in that survey. There is an inbuilt bias.
देखिए, जिन सर्वे की आप बात कर रहे हैं, पहले भी भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लिए सर्वे करते रहे, इनकी क्या विश्वसनीयता है पूरा विश्व जानता है। और जिस प्रकार से इनकी सर्वे की रिपोर्ट होती है वो निश्चित रूप से सरकार के लिए होती है।
So today the India Alliance doubts the credibility of the Pew survey. Tonight on the News Hour Fact Check, let's remind you how the Congress party has itself relied on such surveys to target Prime Minister Narendra Modi. In March 2021, Rahul Gandhi quoted VDem Institute's report saying India is no longer a democracy. In January 2022, Randeep Surjewala quoted Oxfam report saying there is economic disparity in Modi's India. Recently, in March 2024, Congress MP Shashi Tharoor quoted a different Pew survey to say BJP is a threat to India's democracy, and yet the same party today has rejected the Pew survey, which says that India is one of the greatest democracies as stated by people in India itself. So, ladies and gentlemen, the legitimate question that we're asking on the News Hour tonight: democracy or dictatorship? Who do we believe? The opposition narrative or the surveys from abroad? And should India actually celebrate the democracy that exists or only celebrate the doubters of democracy? That debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Joining me right on top of the News Hour debate is Kanchan Gupta, senior journalist and advisor in the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. Also joining me this evening, Sanjay Jha, author, Congress leader in suspended animation. And I want to ask you, Sanjay Jha, is India a democracy or not? Whose narrative do you believe? Because on some counts, you believe surveys on hunger index, Pew survey itself, press freedom index. But today, there's absolute pin drop silence.
Navika, good evening to you and to my friend Kanchan. You know, it is both amusing and astonishing, or rather it is not astonishing, that the BJP now has to quote, a foreign agency, a foreign think tank to find comfort that, there is some kind of democracy in India after all. This tells you the level of desperation that they need the same certification from a foreign agency when they trash a BBC, a New York Times, a Washington Post, and what have you. So that's the paradox that I think Mr. Gupta will have to explain to the people of India. That eventually, like it or not, Mr. Gupta, over the last 10 years, you joked about all the foreign media that question democracy and hate speeches. But today, now you're going to them literally on your knees and you want to propagate the fact that, democracy is still alive. Point number 2. Navika, when I read this research report, I was kind of amused by the cherry picking that the BJP has done here, for the simple reason that by that logic, you agree what the VDem Institute said, that India is an elected autocracy, like a democratically elected dictatorship, where there has been an unofficial emergency for the last 10 years or 120 months. I mean, look at the World Press Freedom Index, Kanchanji. You have been a journalist, where India is ranked today 159 out of 180. So if you agree with the Pew Research report, then Mr. Gupta, you have to also agree with the World Press Freedom Index. And the most important point, Navika, that I think your viewers need to know. One is that democracies have their own very practical life that people can see. Give you an example. In America, Hunter Biden, the son of the president, gets criminally convicted while President Biden is in office. Out here, there is a very famous industrialist accused of a lot of stock market manipulation and all kinds of illegal, equity controls. Have you seen how the government went defending him? Point number 1. Point number 2, very, very important.
Well, Sanjay Jha, aren't you cherry picking as well? Let me come in here. It can't be a monologue. So let me come in here. Aren't you cherry picking as well? You believe in all the foreign agencies, the imported agencies, because that's what you quote when you talk about the hunger index, press freedom index, Pew report, Shashi Tharoor with all his adjectives, he uses the same reports. And you don't believe that democracy is alive in India despite elections. But if the BJP were to use it, you have a problem. Kanchan Gupta, Isn't this hypocrisy? Isn't this double standards?
Yeah, good evening, Navika. Thank you for inviting me. I really am stumped because I don't think the BJP or the government is necessarily waving around this report and saying that we have been vindicated. It is just another survey, but since it has been conducted by Pew, which is quite reputed, and if I am not wrong, one of the best or better known American organizations that periodically conduct surveys on politics, society, culture, religion, etc. What it does, it sort of vindicates the faith which the people of this country have in democracy, A, B, that they are satisfied with the functioning democracy that we have. 77% of them are satisfied. And C, it sort of pours cold water on these VDEM wallas because they don't even know the basis of the VDEM surveys. Now, the VDEM, for instance, says that there's greater academic freedom in Afghanistan than in India. Now, if we are to believe that and then dumb down India because 20 op-ed writers got together and shared their opinion, that is how the VDEM index is framed, then we are in a bad place because we believe such stupidity. Now, this survey is not about either the BJP or the government. It is about the country, its people, and the democracy that flourishes every day it functions in India. Because it just quantifies the level of satisfaction. Again, I repeat, 77% of Indians say they are satisfied with the functioning of democracy in India. More importantly, what it does, it gives you a comparative set of data that shows that the level of satisfaction between 21 and 24 has remained stable and even gone up, whereas for many of these liberal democracies, which sort of preach democracy to India from a pulpit, the level of satisfaction has gone down.
You talk about the United States, you talk about Hunter Biden, but look at where the United States itself ranks on this index. You know, Sanjay Jha, my point is not whether you believe this survey or not. My point is that a very, very loud, acrimonious elections were held on the narrative that India was facing the death of democracy, that there was dictatorship, that the constitution was in danger. And that's exactly the narrative that has continued in the first session of the parliament, where the constitution book has been waved, so many times by so many leaders. A red one by Rahul Gandhi, a blue one by Akhilesh Yadav. So if that is to be believed, that constitution is in danger, that democracy is in danger, then my friend, look at this. It is the same agency that you quote. And let me tell you, the hunger index that you often quote in many debates, that has 150 respondents. The index of press freedom has about 3,000 respondents. In this case, it's 12 times that number, 36,000 respondents. Why do you believe that and not this? I'm only on the issue of this whole specter that you create, that, oh my God, democracy is dying in India. It's pretty robust according to people of India itself.
But Navika, I think my friend Kanchan said that, he's okay with Pew, but he hates every other foreign agency that has been extremely critical of Mr. Modi's government. So, Kanchan, let me quote to you the Supreme Court of India, Kanchan. You and I, as citizens of this country, including, I'm hoping, Prime Minister Modi, trust the Supreme Court, right? This is what the Supreme Court said. And the dispute and the debate can end here. The Supreme Court said that the government, or rather the political party in Chandigarh, that was brazenly frauding the result for the mayoral election, was making a mockery of democracy, quote unquote. It was a murder of democracy, quote unquote. This is the Supreme Court of India. So now you and I don't have to look around for, cherry picking and finding alibis for ourselves. It's pretty obvious what the state of Indian democracy is. And Kanchan, can you disagree that the CBI, ED, income tax, now having created this model called the washing machine model, has destroyed institutional governance in India? You have made them into a tool of political vendetta, and the world has seen electoral bonds where there was criminality in fundraising, threats being given, intimidation being given. You saw literal mafia operation. And you have the United States, much discredited, I agree. I don't think any democracy can claim to be perfect, but there people have gone and sued the White House. Can you imagine anybody in India suing the PMO or the Prime Minister himself?
Oh, you're talking as if when the Congress party was in power, everybody was suing the Congress party at that time. Kanchan Gupta?
Well, at least conversations were more fearless.
Oh, really?
Now, let's get a couple of points clear. If we start quoting highfalutin observations by the Supreme Court, which is not really a part of orders or judgments because most of it is oral, I can then take you back in time, 50 years ago, when the Supreme Court of India actually, through a written judgment, upheld the suspension of fundamental rights, arresting people without justification under MISA and other draconian laws. And the worst of all, they justified that, these people do not have to be produced in a court of law to validate the arrest. Till H.R. Khanna overturned all this with his habeas corpus petition. Now, I find it very funny. You don't have to waive a copy of the Constitution to prove your adherence to it. And unfortunately, people who are waiving a copy of the Constitution and remarkably a pocket version of it with a red cover, they remind me, all of us were young once upon a time, as was Mr. Jha, I am sure. And I remember when I was in college or just in high school, everybody carried a copy of this. I don't know whether you can see it. This is Chairman Mao's Little Red Book. And everybody waved it. Everybody had it in his or her chola. And they waved it. But nobody had read a page of it. Nobody had read a page of it. They would probably quote one of the sayings which they had learned by rote. So similarly, I doubt, and I can say this with absolute confidence, I doubt if people waving the photo, waving the pocket edition of the Constitution of India, if they have gone beyond the opening lines of it.
Well said, Kanchan Gupta. Well said. Carrying a copy of the Constitution and following it are two different things, and clearly that is something that we need to really debate from here on. Thank you very much, Kanchan Gupta, for joining me as I open up this debate. And joining now the debate is Shazia Almi, National Spokesperson of the BJP, Abbas Haider, National Spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, Harsh Vardhan Tripathi, Senior Journalist, joining me in just a minute. Sanjay Jha, of course, continues to be with us. Abbas Haider, democracy is in danger. But Pew says it is not.
Yeah.
Now, all of those people who believed in so many other indices, and of course Rahul Gandhi, who said देश पर केरोसिन छिड़क दिया गया है, आज कुछ बोल नहीं रहे. ये बीजेपी के बारे में सर्वे नहीं है. It's a survey on India and Indians. And they say in India it's functioning fine. 77% people are satisfied with it. Abbas Haider, Constitution ठीक ठाक चल रहा है ना?
Navika ji, good evening.
Yes, respond. Is democracy alive in India?
Yeah, there was some audio trouble. Navika ji, let me tell you this. We are talking about PW survey. So let me take you 4 months back. So the same PW survey was conducted in India, and according to a report of PW survey in February 2024, it said that 85% of Indians want an authoritative government. This is what the PW survey says. And now they are saying that 77% people are happy with the democracy in India. I am showing you the official website of this agency, which is saying this. Do you agree that 85% of the people want an authoritative government in India, not democracy? So certainly, I am very surprised and I am very astonished that the Bharatiya Janata Party, the ruling party of India, the biggest democracy in the world, want validation from such surveys agencies. There is another reason to it. Because 15 days back on 26th of June 2024, the UN Secretary of State Antony Blinken presented the UN report on religious freedom. And it says it raised concern over the situation of minorities in India. So I think this is a step to validate such statement from the United States. I totally condemn what the US Secretary of State has said about my country, because any foreign national, any foreign official has no right to say about my country. But governments attempt to get validation from foreign agencies. This is very unfortunate. The problem here is that Navika ji, our dear Prime Minister, his mindset is undemocratic. His actions are undemocratic. What he has done with the opposition leader, he has sent the elected Chief Minister of State to the jail. He has, used machinery of the union government against opposition. We have seen what has happened in the mayoral election in Chandigarh. So this has all what has happened in our country in the past 10 years of Mr. Modi. I'm not talking about VDEN and other survey agencies. Let's stick to the issue. The problem here is, Navika ji, the people from the Bharatiya Janata Party, I think after this election, we have seen the change in the reports of these surveys, and we have seen the change in the language of the Bharatiya Janata Party leaders. This is what has been happening.
So are you saying the Bharatiya Janata Party has now become democratic because their language has changed? पहले नहीं थी, क्या कह 10 साल से तो आप मेरे शो पे आ रहे हैं. For 10 years, you have been on this show, you have spoken whatever you wanted to speak, but there is no democracy in this country. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन खतरे में है. आज भी आप बैठे हैं, बोल रहे हैं. आज आपके नंबर बढ़ गए हैं from 5 to 37, yet democracy is not functioning. Shazia Ilmi, bad losers won't recognize the same report, when it quotes something else, they believe it, they quote it. Today, they are in denial.
No, Navika ji, just
well, absolutely, and I don't think one should look at foreign involvement.
Abbas Haider, बहुत सुन लिया, अब आप भी सुन लीजिए. Please, I'll come back to you. Shazia Ilmi.
Abbas, this is for you. Abbas, when you quoted,
okay.
Abbas, let me take it point wise. You talked about talking about Indians seeking authoritarian regime. It says authoritarian regime or a strong leader. Most Indians wanted strong leadership. And that has been used as authoritarianism. So that is the twist given by those who look at India in a particular way. Not just that, if you look at VDEM, they talk about electoral autocracy, which is exactly what Sanjay Jha was talking about. Now, we are a party, we have never ever bothered. We are not like Rahul Gandhi, who go to Germany and UK and criticize our country and run down and erode its institutions, whether it's EC or EVMs or Supreme Court or overall judiciary or bureaucracy. We take the responsibility fair and square. We are not sore losers. So now for you, the EC works. Now for you, the EVM works. Now the new thing that you've thrown in the spanner is what? Is the mics in the parliament. Because now apparently your mics are being switched off selectively. So listen, all this cloak and dagger stuff, keep it to yourself. Would you like to believe, or would I believe, that we are any less free than people in Palestine, then press is in Palestine or Hong Kong or Afghanistan? But this is exactly what some of the foreign agencies would have you believe. So I live in this democracy. I breathe it. I'm a part of it. I partake of it. And we all know just how robust. And you talked about Antony Blinken. I will give you a statement of Antony Blinken when he said, I have witnessed it firsthand, the dance of democracy, and how robust and vibrant it is in India. And you just have to live here and be a part of any election to know how well it works.
Well, let me get in Sanjay Jha. And Sanjay Jha, raking up the issue of the misuse of CBI in 2013. Samajwadi Party Supremo Mulayam Singh Yadav today said, fighting with the government is not easy as it can use CBI and put one in jail. सरकार से लड़ना आसान नहीं है. सरकार के हजारों हाथ होते हैं. सीबीआई का उपयोग कर सकती है, जेल में डाल सकती है. इट्स नॉट इजी टू फाइट द गवर्नमेंट. मुलायम सिंह यादव 2013 में, when it was the UPA government. But nobody ever came out and said that democracy was in danger and democracy was ending and that Dr. Manmohan Singh was a dictator. Why, Sanjay Jha? Why are yardsticks different? And why were these reports not quoted then? That hunger index, press freedom index. Please answer this question, Sanjay Jha.
Yeah. Navika, I think the BJP spokesperson actually made a Freudian slip. She said that the agency twisted the issue of a strongman leader to make India look bad. Madam, the agency is the same one that you're using to propagate that India is a very big democracy. Make up your mind. You have contradicted yourself. And let me tell you, Abbas Haider is not wrong at all. If you read the Pew survey, Navika, which I'm sure all the viewers will not agree, according to the Pew survey, 85% of Indians want military rule. I don't think anybody in their rational sense would ever publicly state that they would prefer dictatorship in India through military, not even politics, not even a dictator. They want military rule or some kind of a very aggressive autocracy. So I think these are all desperate attempts by the BJP. If they now seek certification from Pew,
amazing Sanjay Jha. हर्षवर्धन त्रिपाठी जब ये कोट करते हैं प्यू को, तब डेस्परेशन विपक्ष की होती है, क्योंकि ये भी तो कोट करते हैं. अब उसी एजेंसी का एक सर्वे मैं दिखाऊं तो ये कहते हैं डेस्परेट है बीजेपी वाले. अरे बीजेपी वाले डेस्परेट हो, मुझे उससे कोई लेना देना नहीं, लेकिन इस देश के लोग कितने डेस्परेट हैं, ये उनको डेस्परेट क्यों दिखाना चाहते हैं, मुझे ये बात समझ में नहीं आ रही है. द सेम रिपोर्ट शशि थरूर कोट्स, इट्स द गॉस्पेल ट्रूथ. अगर आज हम कोट कर रहे हैं तो हम भी नाच रहे हैं एक रिपोर्ट के साथ, बीजेपी भी उसको फ्लॉन्ट कर रही है. ये कैसा लॉजिक है भाई?
नविका जी, सबसे पहले तो ये कि टाइम्स नाउ पर आपके साथ हम सब लोग डिबेट कर रहे हैं और किसी प्यू रिसर्च की जरूरत नहीं, किसी फॉरेन, किसी इंटरनेशनल एजेंसी, किसी मीडिया रिपोर्ट, किसी रिसर्च जर्नल, किसी की जरूरत नहीं. और हम ये डिबेट तब कर रहे हैं जब इस देश के लगभग 100 करोड़ मतदाताओं में से 67 करोड़ लोगों ने लगभग वोट किया है और वोट करके एक सरकार चुनी है, अपना जनप्रतिनिधि चुना है, और जिसमें एक शानदार मैंडेट के साथ तीसरी बार एक सरकार चुनती है. यानी कॉन्टिन्यूटी, कंसिस्टेंसी, डेमोक्रेसी, इससे बड़ा उदाहरण नहीं होगा. और कमाल की बात यह है कि जय संविधान का नारा लगाने वाले भूल गए कि जिस दिन चुनाव संपन्न हुआ वो भी जय संविधान का ही प्रमाण था. उसके लिए कुछ और एविडेंस नहीं चाहिए. संजय झा जी, मुझे तो समझ में नहीं आता, आप लोग मतलब सचमुच, या तो ऐसा लगता है कि ठीक है भाई टीवी की बहस में थोड़ा सा डिफेंड करना है. आज आपको क्यों ये सब कहने की जरूरत थी? आज तो आप कहते हैं कि हाँ ठीक बात है, हमारा देश इतनी शानदार डेमोक्रेसी है. आपको इससे भी चिंता हो रही? 234 पर बैठा हुआ यूनाइटेड अपोजिशन 99 पर 52 से पहुंच गई कांग्रेस पार्टी, फिर भी आपको डेमोक्रेसी नहीं दिख रही. और ये वही मेंटेलिटी है जिसमें अखिलेश यादव कहते हैं 37 छोड़िए 80 भी हो जाएगी तो ईवीएम पर यकीन नहीं करें. यानी ये डेमोक्रेसी को तब तक डिमीन करते रहेंगे, वोटर को अपमानित करते रहेंगे, इंसल्ट करते रहेंगे, जब तक इनको चुन न लिया जाए. जनता देख रही है. और मैं फिर कह रहा हूं, बार बार आप इस तरह से, जिस तरह से जनता को अपमानित कर रहे हैं, वो बहुत अच्छी बात नहीं है. मैं कह रहा हूं अभी भी सचेत हो जाइए. सतर्क होना भारतीय जनता पार्टी को भी है क्योंकि उनके नंबर गिरे हैं, लेकिन आप जहां उठकर भी पहुंचे हैं, इस तरह की बात करेंगे तो शायद आपके लिए मुश्किल पड़ने वाली है. मुझे किसी रिसर्च एजेंसी की रिपोर्ट नहीं चाहिए. भारत में दुनिया का सबसे शानदार लोकतंत्र है और इसको कोई हटा नहीं सकता. दुनिया की कोई ताकत, न कोई नेता, न कोई प्रधानमंत्री.
Well, Sanjay Jha, There's an article written by one congressman. Let me name him, Shashi Tharoor. March 18th, 2024, not very long ago. The Pew Research Center's 2023 Global Attitude Survey, a stunning 85% of Indian respondents said that authoritarian rule would be good for the country, the highest such response among 24 countries surveyed. Equally, the share of Indians who believe that it is essential for opposition parties to be able to operate freely was the third smallest. So the reflection is on the opposition. The reflection is not on the authoritarian rule. You're trying to mislead the viewers today. It also says Modi and the BJP regularly exploit the public's exasperation with democracy to create the image of a decisive and powerful leader who has the nation's best interests at heart. The implication is that he should be able to operate freely without any interference from a hostile parliament or judiciary. Now, this is what Tharoor said he understood. I want to ask you, Sanjay Jha. People want this authority and authoritarian rule, not because they want the military. They just don't want to deal with the opposition that is not constructive.
Navika, let me give you a quick response. We don't need to listen to Mr. Tripathi, myself, Abbas, or even Shazia. The people of India have answered. The people of India have answered, Navika. I remember Tripathi ji on the day of the verdict of 2024 elections sitting with me in the Times studio. And what did he say? That the threat to the constitution, त्रिपाठी जी आप ही ने कहा था, आप एक बार नहीं 10 बार वो बात को दोहराए थे कि संविधान और प्रजातंत्र का खतरा होना, जो विपक्षी दलों ने जनता के सामने एक बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण मुद्दा लेके जो उनके सामने पेश किया, जनता ने उस पर विश्वास किया, मतलब उनको लगा कि सरकार उनके साथ विश्वासघात कर रही है। और जनता का विश्वास का आप अपमान मत कीजिए, आप उसका मजाक मत उड़ाइए। ये तो कुछ एक महीने भी नहीं हुए हैं।
हर्षवर्धन त्रिपाठी, प्लीज रिस्पॉन्ड।
तो सच्चाई तो यही है that the people of India believe that India's constitution and democracy।
संजय झा जी, मैं देखिए संजय झा जी, मैं कभी आपके कहे को तोड़ मरोड़ कर नहीं पेश करता हूं। मैं फिर से दोहरा रहा हूं, मैंने क्या कहा और दसियों बार डिबेट में कहा है, लगातार नविका जी के साथ भी कहा है, संविधान और आरक्षण खत्म कर दिया जाएगा। इस झूठ और अराजकता पर चुनाव विपक्ष ने लड़ा और उस पर बहुत सी सफलता मिली। मैं ये बात पहले भी कह रहा था, लेकिन ये झूठ और अराजकता बार बार नहीं चलेगी। तो आप मेरे शब्दों को तोड़ने मरोड़ने की कोशिश मत कीजिए। मैंने जो कहा फिर से कह
बिल्कुल सही। शाजिया इल्मी, मुलायम सिंह यादव जब 2013 में कहते हैं सीबीआई का मिसयूज कर सकती है सरकार, तब लोकतंत्र जिंदा था। राहुल गांधी जब फाड़ देते हैं ऑर्डिनेंस ऑफ द प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ द कैबिनेट ऑफ यूपीए, तब लोकतंत्र ठीक था। आज लोकतंत्र खतरे में है और अब कोई सर्वे डज नॉट इम्पैक्ट दिस ट्रूथ दैट द ऑपोजिशन हैज पुट अप।
जी बिल्कुल नाविका जी, जब निर्भय आंदोलन के वक्त लोगों को सड़कों पे मारा जाता था, लाठीचार्ज होता था, तब तो बिल्कुल ही लोकतंत्र खतरे में नहीं था। और जब अन्ना हजारे को 80 साल के ज़ईफ इंसान को जेल में डाल दिया गया था क्योंकि वो यूपीए के भ्रष्टाचार के बारे में बात कर रहे थे, तब भी लोकतंत्र खतरे में नहीं था। जब यंग बच्चों को जो कार्टून बना रहे थे पार्लियामेंट पर और करप्शन पर, तब भी लोकतंत्र खतरे में नहीं था। और जब ममता बनर्जी भेज रही थी एक यंग लड़की को जो कॉलेज की थी, क्योंकि उन्होंने उन पर कार्टून बनाया था मेट गाला को लेकर और उसके लिए उसको जेल भेजा गया था उस बच्ची को, तब भी लोकतंत्र खतरे में नहीं था। तो देखिए कब लोकतंत्र खतरे में हो जाता है, कब संविधान खतरे में हो जाता है, कब इस्लाम खतरे में हो जाता है, ये इनके मूड पर डिपेंड करता है। लेकिन डेमोक्रेसी हमारी इन सब मूड से परे है और हम लोग ने देखा है कि कितना स्वतंत्र हमारा लोकतंत्र, हमारी जमहूरियत है। संजय जी, बिकॉज यू पॉइंटेड आउट टू वन कमेंट दैट आई मेड, आई मस्ट टेल यू एंड फिक्स इट राइट नाउ. The quote, the Pew Center quote, that report that you were quoting says that 85% of Indians are in favor of military rule or a strong leader. Strong, which is what I was saying. Strong. So this is a difference. So not military. You use only military. Again, selectivism.
Quote the same survey when it suits you. Don't quote it when don't believe it when it doesn't suit you. Well, that is what the opposition does. But this election, I mean, really, Harshvardhan Tripathi is right. We don't need any survey to tell us that Constitution is working in this country and democracy is alive and kicking. Simply because we've had elections, and this elections has made the BJP happy because they're back in power, has made the opposition happy because they've increased their numbers and brought the numbers of Narendra Modi down. People of India are happy that they have chosen the leaders that they wanted. What else is the sign of a healthy and very, very alive democracy than this? Sanjay Jha, अब तो छोड़िए ये नैरेटिव, देश बनाने की, देश को आगे बढ़ाने की बात करिए. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, लोकतंत्र दोनों सेफ है. That's all on this debate number 1. Thank you to my panelists for joining me on